Hey, this is BA and welcome to WD GANN Square of 90 in the key to the Lost City. On this one, you really need, I've made other videos on the Jensen-GANN connection, and that would probably help you understand this more, but I'm going to show you a direct link in here and why, again, Jensen is so important. Let's get started. This is from page 127 of Jensen's book, and no, I don't sell it. You can get this thing free on the internet. Okay, look at down here where he says, and keep repeating the 90-degree square at highs and lows. Related is the phenomena of market staging price surges of 11 calendar days. Very important. Now, this is WD GANN Square of 90. Okay. Notice he's got it labeled here 0, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. And those go up in increments of 4. But here we find Jensen's 11 days. Okay? 11 days. And it's an eighth of the square of 90. Okay? That's the link. I told you in the previous GANN Jensen video that GANN doesn't really give instructions on how to use this square of 90. Jensen does in his book. He comes out right and has examples of how to use it. He's a little tricky, but the nuts and bolts of it are there for the average student. Now, if you've not seen these squares, they're plastic overlays that you could like see through them, okay? What GANN would do is he'd draw his chart, highs and lows. He'd mark off the trend going up and down, every day with the high and lows. And he did this on all his charts or whatever. And then the next thing that GANN would do is he would move this plastic overlay around on his chart. Now, the GANN gurus say to anchor this at major highs and lows, and they are correct. However, that answer is not fully the case. You also can anchor it at very tiny highs and lows. Okay? And I could prove that to you by taking you through Jensen's chart, but we don't have time to, or GANN's charts, but we don't have time to get into that per se in this video. So what I want you to note is these three angles here, okay? And when you go and you look at a hand-drawn and marked-off chart by WD GANN, you'll notice these three angles all over his charts, okay? And those have specific meaning, but they also emanate, or their origin is at smaller highs and lows. So it's not just major highs and lows where you anchor the square of 90. Okay, someone that really understands what they're doing with the square of 90 won't just tell you that it's at major highs and lows. Okay, now I'll tell you a little bit more about the square of 90. It doesn't work in all markets. It's market specific. Is there a way of knowing what square works with what market? Absolutely. Okay, it's like in IBM, which I trade IBM options. You cannot use the square of 90. It will not work consistently. All right, there's a different square I use for that. I will tell you also that the square of 90 does work in the Dow and the S&P, and there's several more that it works in, but I'm not going to get into that, okay? And so GANN had different squares for different markets. Very important concept here. But again, nobody knows how to operate this thing. The instructions are in Jensen's book. Read it carefully. Okay, the key to the Lost City. WD GANN stated, there are some stocks I have never been able to make any money off of. That is saying a lot, being since WD GANN is known as a legendary trader. He said, there's some stocks I've never been able to make any money off of. Wow. Then he goes on to say that's almost always makes money with MEXP, which is Mexican Petroleum. It's a stock. In fact, he states, it's as if I'm making the marks myself, meaning it's as if I'm making the highs and lows myself. Okay, wow, well, that's a radical change from the previous slide. We got one instance he's saying I got these stocks I can't make any money off of, and then in the other he's saying this one, I can make money left and right. Okay, it's as if I'm making the marks myself. It's easy. Okay, very important concept, the golden key unknown by 99.9% of viewers of this video is that there is a relationship between the stock, currency, index, commodity, whatever that you trade and yourself. Okay, much like a marriage. Now let's think about this. We wouldn't go into a mall and go there, you know, if you're a male, you wouldn't go in a mall and say, I'm going to marry her. Or if you're a female, you just don't walk into a mall and go, I'm going to marry him. Okay, it doesn't work that way. Why? It's because there's relationship dynamics there, and you want the best person possible in the relationship. Okay, you don't want to point to the wrong girl and find out, or wrong guy and find out they're into crack cocaine or something else, because your relationship's going to drag you down. Well, it's the same with stocks and commodities. There's a relationship there between you and the stock and commodity, okay, or whatever you're trading, the currency, whatever. And that is important, and you want that to be good. Now, there's various ways of knowing this, and we'll get to this in a minute. 2005, why is it important? It's when I discovered this critical concept. I pooled these people. There's about, a couple hundred people. And I said, if you've had a really bad trade, I want to know all about it. Write to me here. And then out of those, about 3 people wrote and said, BA, but I've got this one that I'm pretty much consistent in. And I went and I had this big pile of losers and 3 people telling me that they were consistent in this one stock or commodity. So I went and looked at the one stock or commodity. And I realized that there's a pattern there, because I went and interviewed them and I asked them questions like, what kind of trading methods do you use? Do you know WD-GAN or whatever? And nobody knew him. They knew of him and they were researching him, but they didn't know any of his real methods. Nothing they had worked consistently. But when in their magical stock or commodity, they said, the best I use is moving averages. One individual said, I just look at it and I kind of know where it's going. What? Well, this is not a unique phenomenon. This is throughout markets, okay? And since I broke this story in 2005, because I let people know and stuff, there's been research and different methods out there developed to try and find this. And it's very simple, okay? You just go and check and see that, your first 3 trades will tell you all you need to know. If 2 of them are winners and 1 small loss, and you kind of knew that it was going to be a loss because it didn't feel right from the get-go, there you go. You found something. But if you're like most people and you go and you just get, whacked hard in those 3 trades or 2 of the trades, and one goes sideways, that damn thing hates you, man. And yet traders keep trying and trying and trying to trade the same instrument that hates them. I call that a negative feedback loop, and I won't get into that, but I will get into the positive aspects of this. I talked to people. I said, well, how much, money do you, I didn't ask for amounts because that's just damn rude, but I asked him, how much money are we talking here, like ballpark, and one guy summed it up for all of them. He said, BA, all my debts are paid, and I pay my bills every month with the stock. Okay, or I'm debt free and I pay, all my bills every month with the stock. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good. I talked to multimillionaires. Their money came from financial markets. They had been studying GAN, but they had nothing working consistently. They did find that they could only trade really one specific thing, and that was the key, and they stuck with it, and they made millions. Okay, that's critical information. All right, and no one knows it. I mean, most people are completely unaware of it. All right? So you can do it yourself. There's ways of doing it, of going around it. I've seen some stuff written on it out there ever since I originally broke this in 2005. Over the years, and I just don't. I disagree with it. I don't think it's right. I mean, I've gotten into the science part of it, but anyway, if you really look at it from just those first 3 trades, I mean, anyone can do that that's trading. Okay, and if traders out there, if you're having trouble, year after year or month after month, whatever the case may be, and you consistently lose money, now you know why the damn thing hates you. Just like Gan said, let's go back to that slide, okay? There are some stocks I have never been able to make any money off of. Wow, and he's legendary. You think you're going to beat this guy? Yeah, right. Okay, very important concept. If you have gained insight from my videos, subscribe so you can get the latest of my free market calls, updates, commentary, and teachings. I got one here for you, talking about teachings. It's from the Tunnel book. Page 239, it mentions perfect working order. Page 337, it again mentions perfect working order. Both are talking about Marie, the Angel of Mercy, which we call Ma'am. Okay, now Ma'am flies at 1,000 miles per hour. But here, the two occurrences of this perfect working order are about 1,000 days apart. And so you can see knowledge is priceless. Hey, this is BA reminding you you can succeed. Take care. Bye-bye.